Hey, I wanted to talk about Hytale now that the hype has largely died down. We're, what, 6 months into launch? I think we have a pretty good idea for what the game is, and I think that there's a lot to be said, isn't there? And I feel like a lot of people haven't said anything about it because they don't really have the expertise to dive that deep. So I'm hoping to do that deep dive instead. I'm not sure this is going to be a deep dive. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. But this video is also going to inspect a incendiary video I made like 2 years ago called Hytale's Too Advanced to be a Minecraft Rival or a Good Modding Platform. And listen, I have hot takes, okay? I have hot takes all the time, and I do speak reckless. And I think it's fun to speak reckless like that. Of course, I'm being a bit hyperbolic. Hytale's a perfectly fine game, but the underlying sentiment is the thing I want to reinspect in this video and see like how much I got right, how much I got terribly, terribly fucking wrong, and everything in between. Okay, so first I want to talk about our assumptions of Hytale before it came out, and how wrong everybody fucking was. Nobody saw this coming. First of all, Hytale is not Minecraft. You know that fancy little block game? Yeah, it's not that. And at the same time, Hytale is also not Terraria. It's not Terraria either. And I think that's like probably the strangest jumping out point for me. Is that Hytale actually turned out to be Ark, like Ark Survival Evolved, or Rust, right? And on top of that, Hytale has a very, 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 very significant focus on multiplayer. And this is significant because the entire way that Hytale advertises itself, and the features that come out before other features, they're all informed by this philosophy. But what I think is like what's very strange is that the idea of designing an endless game, I'm not sure how much that even fucking applies to Hytale. It really is not like the other two in the genre. It really is just a block Rust. It's just a block game Rust. And there's a few reasons why I say that, right? Number one is that instead of like any type of relevant crafting system from these two games, Hytale is very reliant on workbenches. And there's something funny. Well, Terraria technically is also focused on workbenches, but in Terraria, workbenches take up one tile, right? They take up 1 unit of space. But in Hytale, these things take up 2 units of space. And in 2D, which Terraria is, 1 unit is nothing. However, in 3D, which Hytale is in, 2 units is a fucking lot, okay? You have to understand a bed already takes up 2 units of space all by itself. Now you have a workbench. And not just one, but 8 workbenches, all serving completely different function. Now, there's this is why it's a bit difficult to talk about Hytale right now, and why I assume a lot of people aren't. The game is mercurial. Like, the game is very liquid. It's changing all the fucking time. I just saw a tweet from Simon the other day that they might not even fucking have workbenches in the future. Like, all this stuff is in the air. All this stuff is subject to change. I think that's curious, interesting. But I think that there's a few things that are like down in the DNA that kind of, well, actually, let me expand more on this 2U point. So whenever you're building a house, also I'm not using my infinite canvas right now because the fucking pen was being inconsistent. So whenever you're making your house, usually you're not making it 30 billion blocks large, right? This is your house. And your living quarters are usually like a bed, a table on the wall. Here's the door. How you do a dotted line like that. And this kind of sort of it. Like you have a few like pieces of decoration, maybe some trophies, maybe some statues, a chandelier, right? Some type of light source. That's usually the size of a player home. If players had it their way, on average, they tend to build kind of like this, like 7x7. Seems to be the average. But in Hytale, you can't really do this. Crafting benches, not only are there 8 of them, but they also have the ability to take items from a limited storage space. What I mean by this is that this crafting bench cannot take an item from some hypothetical storage you have in the cloud. It doesn't work that way. No, it has to be within a certain range of the crafting bench itself. And that incentivizes players to build very utilitarian rooms, unfortunately. And that's it creates very ugly living conditions. I found myself kind of falling into this trap as well, where it's just like, why am I why would I actually try to build something nice? I kind of have to reach my workbench, which is over here, but I accidentally put my stone over here in this chest, and it's a bit too far away, but it's in the builder chest. I'm sorry, it's in the builder workbench radius. so it fits there, but it doesn't fit here. And you have to do this fucking thing where you're like, if you want it to look nice, you have to plan very intentionally, and that's friction. Friction is dangerous. Friction is very dangerous if you don't know how to balance it properly. I want to a smaller size. Friction, yes, friction. This is very dangerous, and players. I'm not going to call out the specific players because I think it's kind of embarrassing if I do that. But you see some fucking horrible abominations. Usually that's okay, right? One of the things that I thought Hytale was going to be, and not a Rust clone, was I thought it was going to be an RPG mod pack, right? Like I pointed out earlier, Hytale is mercurial. It's changing all the time. And you could say that the RPG part of Hytale just isn't in yet, and it's coming. And you might be right. I believe you if you say that. I'm not saying you're wrong. But what I am saying is that, like, the basics that you would expect from an RPG mod pack, they're not really here. When we think of RPG mod pack, what are you thinking of? What I think of is like RL Craft. Maybe that's a bit facetious. Cisco's medieval fantasy. Hell, even fucking better Minecraft, right? Like when I think of RPG mod packs from like extreme difficulty to like casual in difficulty and the range in between. Cisco should not be in between, but you get my point. I played a wide variety of these fucking things, and I think I have a good idea of what an RPG mod pack is. Hytale is not that even a little bit, and that's because like I said before, this friction of setting up your base to have the crafting stations in the right place before you know the exact block distance between every workbench and every storage space and how many storage boxes you need. Before you know all that stuff, you have to plan. That gets in the way because in RPG mod packs you're not sitting still. You have a home base with all your chests just littered about, and you have your boss soul in one of these chests, and you can't find it for like 2 minutes or something. Or worse, you never find it again until it's like 30 minutes later. You killed the boss like 8 more times, and you're like, oh, there it is. I was looking for that. And that's why in a lot of these packs they have like storage solutions, but that's besides the point. This setting up of furniture, this mandatory, and that's what it is. It is mandatory. This mandatory furnishing is a friction point that takes away from the idea that it's an RPG pack. I spend all my time managing my base and make sure everything is kosher. And I spend no time exploring. Hytale, in that way, is just not Terraria. One of the more popular mods in Terraria is Magic Storage, and there's a reason for that. Magic Storage has the range storage thing. As long as you have a chest that's connected to the Magic Storage, tile by tile, you can access its inventory. Even if it's a chain of chests, you can access inventory. It's very cool mod. It's a very interesting mod. Hytale has remote storage, but it's a limited remote storage. And so it doesn't really hit the RPG thing. It doesn't really hit the Terraria thing. I'm not sure where Hytale is. That's going to be a recurring thing that I feel like it's an identity crisis, because the only places I see this is like in these like hardcore survival, not hardcore. These aren't hardcore. They're actually super casual, but these PvP multiplayer focused survival games like Rust and Ark. This is where I see that. I see that in Conan. I see that in 7 Days to Die, right? 7 Days to Die. God bless people who still play that. I'm sorry what's happening to y'all. I heard you have it tough. I'm not going to bring it up because it might be a trauma response or something. But yeah, this is mandatory. This is mandatory to do, and it's not. Maybe this is strong to say, but it's not fun. And then I want to talk about the Minecraft half now, right? Because some of us were under the impression that it was going to be a Minecraft clone, not just an RPG mod pack. You can check that out if you want to. But some people were said, well, it's going to be just as creative as Minecraft. And they have a couple of things that feed into this, right? First is it Axios or Axiom? There's the Axiom mod in Minecraft, which basically adds 3ds Max into fucking Minecraft, which is kind of crazy. You can sculpt like massive landscapes with like actual like sculpting brushes and stuff. It's very crazy. They add that to Hytale. The building tools are very advanced. We'll be coming back to this word. This is very fucking important. And we will be coming back to this. We will be coming back to advance and how the entire fucking game, the ecosystem, the mods that have come out, the teams that have established themselves, and the intention that the developers have, it's all very advanced. And I think that's a problem, but we'll get to that. So we have a few things that feed into the Minecraft comparison. Obviously, it's a block game, right? And of course, we have developer history, right? Developers have a very strong history with Minecraft. They ran a server. Multiplayer, I think there's some there's some bias going on there. I've seen people say, why do you even want a mod pack? Some people playing Hytale don't know what a mod pack is. They don't know the power of mod packs. They've played like one kitchen sink and they think that is all mod packs. They've never played a curated experience. They've never played Liminal Industries or Meatball Craft or fucking there's so many of these things. They haven't played any of them. And that's worrying. And I don't know if the developers fall into that, but there's a very there's a serious bias for multiplayer servers carrying this game, and content creators carrying this game. Content creators need something to play, buddy. They need mod packs. And they partner with CurseForge, and we'll get there. Let's stick around. All right. There was a lot of reasons to believe this is going to be a Minecraft-like. A lot of people had that assumption. I don't know if I had that assumption. We'll know when I look at the video. But I certainly didn't expect it to be like this. It's nothing like Minecraft. Minecraft has very limited palette. And I'm sure I bring this up in the video. Minecraft textures are 16 pixels, right? Long and tall, they're 16 pixels. Hytale is 64 and 32. Beyond the inconsistency of the pixel density, it's a lot more to work with, but what novice pixel artists don't really understand about having higher pixel count is that the more pixels you allow yourself, the more colors you allow yourself, the bigger the chance you'll make a mistake if you don't know what you're doing. And with Minecraft, because there's only 16 pixels, it's very difficult to make something that doesn't look at least somewhat intentional. Even if it's completely dog shit, it's very difficult to make whatever you're making look bad. I've seen a lot of people come through in the Hytale creator Discords I'm in, and they're really struggling with this art style, bro. They're really fucking struggling, and that hampers creativity for mods. But beyond that, Hytale is very opinionated with its block set. It's very high fantasy. I've seen some snarky Reddit user saying, by the way, guys, you know you can build modern, but then they show some like brick structure. That's not modern. But when you have to twist the game, like really twist its arm to get it to look how you want it to look, I think that's a problem with the game. It's kind of like people who build in Minecraft and they use terracotta unironically, and it looks good from a distance, right? Then when you get up close, you can see every single little fucking block. And this is happening when you're playing. When you're playing the game, you're looking at every single little fucking block. All of a sudden, each part of it that's like weird, like moss or like terracotta, that stuff matters. It's no longer just a visual trick of the eye for this this one viewing angle. And Hytale is very opinionated. It is high fantasy. Is very high fantasy, and that's I don't know how to feel about that. Like it has an identity, that's for sure. There's been there's another piece of like discourse that's been going on that Hytale looks like a mobile game. I think this is slanderous. And if I was Simon, I would probably crash my car into your house if I heard you saying that about my fucking game. Saying that looks like a mobile game is crazy work. But I get where people are coming from. Hytale's history put it off from being released 7 years late. There are a lot of indie developers and like a lot of people that just wanted to jump on a trend that took over Hytale's aesthetic crown before it could come out and really like show itself to be king in that area. It's also just the fact that like 32X is just better than 64X. Hytale's art style is very what's a good word? It's very noisy. It uses a lot of gradients. There's no hard lines. It's a lot of soft brushes, and that makes things it's kind of like Vintage Story in a way. Vintage Story looks like noise the first time you look at it, right? It just looks like pure noise. Hytale obviously has more intention behind it. It's definitely more painterly, but it's still soft, and that's kind of off-putting because soft is also a place where you can make mistakes. Remember, more pixels, the more chance you make a mistake. And if you're not skilled, once again, we'll get to it. If you're not skilled, you're going to suffer. People have been suffering. The unskilled have been suffering. It's been a big filter. And that's a problem when you're trying to build around a huge moderate player base to feed your multiplayer ambitions. As of the making of this video, Hytale has hired the Create team, the makers behind the best Minecraft mod of all time. And I will not accept any slander behind that, okay? Create is the best Minecraft mod to ever fucking exist. And it fits the block game formula so well that I'm not surprised that Simon and his team went to find some counsel with them. They're obviously going to be working there temporarily. I assume it's going to be a design consultancy role. Funnily enough, I also do this. This is my job. I do software consultancy, but design consultancy is part of software consultancy in a way. And it's very funny that this is probably what's going on. So I'm not privy to their conversations, but I assume the Create team probably has enough sense to tell the Hytale team, hey guys, in this game, automation doesn't work. Is that slander? Is that slander? I think it's slander. I know people are mad. This probably makes a lot of people very fucking mad. Automation has no place in Hytale. I'm not saying that Redstone doesn't. I'm not saying that some type of energy system doesn't. I'm not saying that some type of processing system or manufacturing system doesn't. Automation does not have a place in Hytale as it is right now. Around 60% of the blocks in Minecraft are purely decorative. And even then, we found a way to make automation work. So why is it that in Hytale, it just doesn't? That's because materials are not multi-purpose. In Minecraft, they have a rule in the design book. Even though they break it all the fucking time, by the way. Everything has multiple uses. They break this all the fucking time. And they name me another use for a turtle scoop. Exactly. Fucking useless. So they break this rule. But the intention is there, right? Everything has multiple uses. There are tons of fucking things to use iron on. Now, in Hytale, what do you use adamantite on? Besides, weapons and armor. What about mithril? You see, like, why I said it's like a DNA problem, like it's a foundational problem that's like, it seems like built into the very way the game is constructed. And like, once again, the game is mercurial. The game is like, it's changing, right? And they're actively taking feedback on board to like highlight the direction of the game. Like, it really is that in progress. It might as well not even be like an alpha, like it's in pre-alpha. But it seems it baked into the foundation right now that, hey, we don't really have a reason for you to use any of these other materials for anything at all. There's 3 different leathers, and it feels like light, medium, and heavy. 3 different leather types, and it feels like their usage is largely arbitrary. There's no real reason why you can't just use one leather for all of them. And a lot of the uses for a lot of the multiple use things for decoration, which feeds into that 60% problem. Like, the more things that are just decoration, the less incentive the player has to, like, we talk about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, right? I'll reiterate just in case we haven't. So intrinsic motivation is what Mojang hopes all players are. Players will play the game just because. They don't need any goals, they don't need any quests, they don't need any level up system, they don't need anything to just play the fucking game. Most developers hope players are like this. This is like, if I had to guess, like 15% of players, okay? The vast minority are intrinsically motivated. The majority are extrinsically motivated. These players need goals. These players need game loops. These players need a reason. And I'm sorry, decoration is not a reason. Decoration is an intrinsic reason. And when it's 60% of your fucking blocks in your block game, that's a bad sign. And it kind of, once again, it comes back to this thing. Automation doesn't really have a place here, does it? What are we automating? You think of Factorio, or Satisfactory, or Dyson Sphere. There's plenty of fucking games that do this. Hell, let's even go for Minecraft. When you think of Create, the reason why we automate is to create a factory line. A goes to B to produce C. And sometimes B also needs to go to D. And D feeds something into A that allows A to create E. This is the essence of a factory game. This is the essence of automation. This is what it's useful for. You need a lot of material coming in and going out, right? Now, tell me, what in Hytale is like that? You know what needs automation? When I come home after looting, I get a bunch of scrap and ore that needs to be smelted. Why they need to be smelted? Because it's neater. I don't need them for anything. In my chest right now at home, I have hundreds of each of metal type. Once again, mercurial. The game's always changing. The game's not finished. Duh. Right? It's changing. Obviously, there's going to be more uses. But if there are obvious uses, you would expect them in an RPG game or an automation game to be obvious from the start. They're not. The main motivations so far that the development team have put out are multiplayer and World Gen V2. Am I going to talk about this now? Am I done with the automation point? I'm sure the team at Create are probably already telling them this. I'm not sure if they're going to listen. There's a chance. No, okay. Let's try to Steelman, right? Well, here's what's interesting. What happens if Hytale wants to be everything? What does that look like exactly? What if Hytale wants to be automation, RPG, decoration simulator, right? Like a very decorative game, decorative block game. What else? Community focused, and whatever the fuck. What if they want to be all of these things? Are they better off separating them or joining them together? I don't know. Here's the traditional game design wisdom. Games that try to be everything end up being mediocre. They end up being kind of dog shit. This is the traditional wisdom. Does that mean that Hytale should listen to traditional wisdom? No. But the wisdom exists for a reason, and you need to have a very clear idea of how you're architecting this. I talk about this in the how to design endless video games video, but you need to understand exactly how you're architecting from the very start to do anything that's like inventive or creative or crazy. That's very difficult, especially when you're a game with the debt that Hytale has, technically. Actually, no, they have no fucking technical debt because their team are a bunch of fucking monsters, and that is kind of the point. Now I want to talk about the modding scene, and I think we're done with the priorities. Let's talk about the modding scene and mod packs and what's advanced and what's not. Here's what I'll say about mods so far. Add-ons are data packs. I don't know if people like hate to hear this or something, and I hear a lot of people gassing it up. Add-ons are just data packs. They are equally easy to implement and put in. They are a bunch of JSON files structured in a certain way. Hytale makes it easier because they give you an editor so that you don't have to guess which folder goes where. That is a serious problem with data packs, right? Data packs, you kind of have to rely on the Minecraft wiki to tell you the exact folder structure. And God forbid you get anything wrong, because it's just not going to fucking work. There's not going to be an error. There's nothing to tell you, hey, you did this wrong. Add-ons are very verbose. They're very safe. Very easy to implement. But so are data packs. They're effectively the same thing. Now, I want to make something clear. I appreciate games that do advanced systems that keep things safe. I appreciate that. ECS is an ingenious system. It makes it super safe to update and to implement new features. Any component systems are fantastic in a lot of different ways. And if you implement them correctly, they're fast. They're fast as shit. Bevy is an ECS-centered engine or framework, because it's not an engine yet, because it has a fucking editor, but it is an ECS framework. And I've seen some impressive benchmarks. That's kind of before I get to that point, I also want to point out Valorant. Valorant, I make fun of this game all the fucking time because it's super funny. It's a game that is built in a custom engine. I think it's custom, I can't remember, but it's built in Rust. Rust is a programming language that is extremely hard to learn, even from veteran programmers. In fact, it's so difficult that you're better off learning it if you knew nothing, because it throws away every convention and everything that you thought you knew about how to program, and it's very opinionated. It's very advanced, very difficult to fucking use. And for an open source game where you want help, you want contributors, choosing Rust is akin to shooting yourself in the foot, no matter how good the benefits are. This is why I laugh at Valorant. I like Valorant. I like the idea of Valorant. I appreciate the ambition that the team or whoever it is that's directing that project has for a 3D Dwarf Fortress. I appreciate that. But it's very difficult to have a game that is open source that you want help on, that is using Rust, and expect it not to eat shit. Not to eat shit and struggle, and have to recycle the same 10 or 20 developers over and over and over again. It is very, very difficult. Now, why did I bring all that up? Hytale is using an ECS system, and I think Captain Joe says it best. If you are not an intermediate or advanced Java user, not JavaScript, Java user, you have no business making a plugin for Hytale. You just don't. It's not just like Minecraft's mods. The entire architecture and the different checks that they have for safety and the way they go about making their system bulletproof, well, that requires a very advanced infrastructure. And guess what happens when something is advanced? I don't know I don't know if I'm overstating this. And maybe it will get better. Listen, Hytale has promised, right? These guys have promised, hey guys, we are going to make a fully visual scripting system. WorldGen V2 is already kind of doing it. It's using a visual scripting system. But let me actually show you what that looks like, because I have it installed right now. Okay, so this is WorldGen V2. The way it works is that I'm also not using the Hytale launcher for this, because Hytale doesn't give a fuck about Linux. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you guys, okay? But we exist. Linux users exist. Anyway, they have this thing here. It's this very complicated node chart to determine how to build a biome. It's actually super intuitive when you get into it, when you like learn what everything here is. But there's not a lot of options, not a lot of things to click. It's just a bunch of things connecting to other things. But this has no code. Okay, I can click some of them. Some of them, they just give me a fucking drop down of all the options I have available to me. There's very minimal coding. Everything is a slider. Everything is a number that you can move back and forth. Everything is a fucking drop down. It's very intuitive, it's very friendly, and they want to make programming the game like this. And that's good. That's good. I appreciate that. Visual scripting is good for getting people's foot in the door, because without visual scripting, this is a hurdle. How do you describe this? I don't know if there's any like description to like really illustrate how fucked you are if you do not already know a lot of Java. If you're not already a programmer, you have no business creating anything for Hytale. That's not the case with mods. Minecraft mods, you can make them by copying and pasting code and like making shit up as you go along. It's a mess, right? It's incompatible, it breaks every so often, but anybody, even without knowing any fucking Java at all, in 2 days can make a simple mod, not a data pack, a mod. This is very, very, very fucking important, especially for mod packs, because mod packs require custom scripting that you simply cannot do with a data pack, I'm sorry, an add-on alone. You can't do it with just this. You need a core mod, or something that enables core mods. Like, is Cube.js coming? Is Cube.js coming to Hytale? Maybe. And maybe that's going to be the middle step to make this possible. But it's very difficult to twine everything together without knowing how to do this. You have to know how to do this. It's not just for servers. Even though they seemingly think so. That's very painful. That's a painful thing. And we talked about the art before, right? There's more chance of you making a mistake when you're using this bigger palette and this unlimited palette on a bigger pixel size. Lots of chance for you to make a mistake. It's advanced. We are trying to get people's foot through the fucking door. We want help. We want people to join our teams. We want more people on the fucking game making things. Simon has advertised this game over and over and over again as like, we want to emphasize modders as being the first people in line, right? The modders to sit at the front of the fucking bus. The way they've gone about this, it's for a very particular type of modder. And it's another thing I'm going to bring up. Have you noticed that what has come out recently has either been AI slop on the CurseForge site, or it has been made by a team or a very competent modder? Everything is either professional or dog shit. There's a huge gap here. I've never seen anything like this before. Like, even in fucking Roblox, if you were by yourself, you could still make something competent. That's not the case here. If you want to make something that is like inclusive and something like this large, you need a team, you need a studio, an entire fucking studio. And the issue is, with every contest that Hytale does, they take some of the people from these teams and they take them out of the modding community. They're gone. Poof. Vanished. I think that people they get excited when modders are like brought into teams. I can tell you firsthand, the bureaucracy, especially after your team size increases over 20. After your team size is over fucking 20, I did that backwards. You have hell, right? We're in Hellfire Land. And what happens is this talent that came out of the team and disappeared from the community gets tied up in corporate bureaucracy for the next 6 months, working on a feature they don't give a fuck about. And their talents doing XYZ thing that they used to do over here in the community is now gone. Now, of course, these authors have agency. These mod authors have agency. They could easily just say no, but they want the paycheck, obviously. It's good money, and they want to work on a game they like, obviously. So they're just going to leave the community. It creates this horrific incentive structure where the most skilled people in our community, the most skilled people making mods, are gone. They're taken, and they're put into toilet duty. Where are they working on it now? V2? World Gen V2? If you made a robot mod and you are now working on World Gen V2, is this what everyone needs? Probably not. And once again, modders have no duty to just like roll over and like sacrifice their health, their sanity, to hand out free candy to the community for the rest of their fucking lives, okay? I'm an advocate for paying developers. Pay developers what they're fucking owed. But when the most skilled developers all leave, what's left? Who comes back, exactly? Who's coming back to the community to feed into it? Who does it? I don't see an answer. I don't see anybody even asking the fucking question. And this has been an issue everywhere. It's an issue in Minecraft. The guy who made Mo Creatures, we had to wait like 10 years for another Mo Creatures thing like Natura or Alex Mobs to come along and really like take its crown, because like the guy who made it disappeared. And his creatures aren't in Minecraft. Like, some of them are, but the majority of them aren't. And they're not in there in the most imaginative ways either. Skyrim, fucking Bethesda does this all the time. They hire from their community all the time. And the people who make these cool-ass mods, they go fucking missing. And what do they do at Bethesda? Well, they make Starfield. Is that good use of their time? Was this good? Was this a good trade-off? We lost a fantastic modder, and we gained Starfield. Is that good? You tell me. I personally am biased against it, obviously. But I wanted to point out like this is an issue when the game is advanced. It's very difficult to mod for, and you want a lot of people. You keep taking the people out of the pool. There's no one to like help the newbies when they come in. All the advanced people are missing. Who exactly is here? Who is here to feed this modding community? When you kill the golden goose, who exactly is here to lay the eggs? Well, maybe I sound a bit harsh. I'm not sure. I hope I don't sound too harsh. But like, there's a lot that's conflicting about Hytale, and it is not at all what I thought it would be. At least, I'm not saying it's bad, and it's mercurial. Once again, mercurial. How many times do I have to keep saying that? It's changing all the time. This game is basically liquid instead of solid. It's basically in pre-alpha. But this is a lot of these things are very worrying to me, and I'm not a fan of Arc or Rust. In case it wasn't obvious, I'm not sure what the intention is here, or what they're building, or where we're going. I'm not entirely sure. Like, it's possible I'm wrong about everything, right? It's possible automation does work. I just didn't know. It's possible there are no design cons. It's possible that the workbenches are actually really good, and you just need less workbenches. Maybe you just need 4 workbenches instead of 8. It's all of these things are possible. It's possible that as soon as they add bosses, all of a sudden it feels like an RPG mod pack, right? It's possible they decide to get rid of the 64 altogether and just keep it on 32. It's possible. But I'm just working with what I have, and what I have is like what the game is right now, what it came out as being, and what the intention was for 7 years straight. I've never seen a single blog post when Riot owned the game where they're like, hey guys, we're going to change all of this. None of this. None of this was on the table of being changed. They were very confident in this direction, and they were like this for 7 years. I'd be surprised if they're changing now. It's not Terraria, and it's not Minecraft. I'm not sure what else to say about that. I don't know if I talked enough about the building, but basically when everything, I talk about it. When you're up close, you can tell that it's terracotta. You can tell that it's wood, and that's not actually concrete. The block choice is not good enough. It's very opinionated, and that's harmful. I already talked about that. So is there an identity crisis? I don't know. Like, it's possible they're just like really bad at communicating. I hear they're European, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Once again, I'm not trying to like bring a fucking fire to burn the house down, but I am worried. I hope that's like coming through that. I'm trying to be like genuine here when I talk about this stuff. I'm not trying to like bullshit you. I'm not trying to be a doomer. I do like Hytale. I do like its concept and the promises that it has. But that's only assuming that I know what the fucking promises are. I did not anticipate the promise being Ark or Rust or 7 Days to Die. That's not the promise I had in mind at all. Until I know what that promise is, I probably will continue to stay worried. I'm sure things will get better. I'm sure like there will be a clearer direction after this consultation from the Create team. And if they don't say that automation doesn't work, I will be more worried. Unfortunately. Now, I wanted to talk about that super incendiary video I made 2 years ago about Hytale. Save that file. Where are my earbuds? Okay, here we go. Hytale is too advanced to be a Minecraft rival or a good mining platform. But for Hytale, we have all these details that we really shouldn't have for a game that claims to be letting you express yourself, right? Like, to be clear about this point, I think that the lore of Hytale actually has been thrown out from beginning to end. Pretty much all of it has been disappeared, gestapoed, and shot in the back of the head, thrown into the harbor. It is not to say that Gaia and the Velok guy, the green guy, aren't going to play a major role in the story. I'm sure they are. But it seems that they threw a lot of those things away because when Simon came back to Hytale, he was shocked at the state of the story and the lore and how bad it was. So I'm not too worried about this part anymore. I think I was wrong about this. But I don't think that was like the main point I was getting at. It wasn't really, this point wasn't about the lore in particular. Okay, so like I have a list of modding ideas for games I like, right? I'm constantly adding shit to this list. One of the things I added just the other day was the idea of a class system for Hytale, right? Because from what we know, there are no classes, there's no XP system, there's no RPG mechanics. Like I said, it's just a, well, I don't know if I said this, but Hytale is the logical conclusion of a modded Minecraft playthrough. Like you get one of those. Yeah, I was wrong about that. It's not at all a modded Minecraft playthrough. It definitely appeared that way. Like we had magic staffs and all this stuff. We had summoning, skeletons. We thought it was going to be that way, but I was wrong. I was way off. I was way off. You get one of those mod packs. It's like all adventure, all RPG. We're going to give you like 11 fucking tiers of items, special drops. Here's your bosses, bro. Like that type of shit. Yeah, Hytale is that. Like at its logical conclusion, this is the end of the road. Hytale is that. But what happens with Hytale in particular is that because it's the end of the road, because it's already basically modded, what else is there to mod? This was my concern, right? It wasn't about the lore. It was about the content. On the wiki for Hytale, when it was first released, there was a jetpack or a jump pad or some shit that was shown as a feature, and guns as well. My concern was that if the Hytale team and their gaggle of professionals make all of the content, especially like the easy fruit from the tree content, there's not really much for a newbie to get their feet wet with. But it's very difficult to like articulate. But if the Hytale team makes every single possible fucking animal, no one will make an animal mod. Do you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Hytale team makes every single type of weapon, nobody will make a weapon mod. It's coming back to this it's coming back to this thing of entry points. You want help, you want modders, you want to bring new blood in. You have to leave the door open in some ways. You can't take all of the best of the community and then also take all the fucking ideas. That was my concern. And I see some of it playing out, but in other ways, luckily, it's not. Because Hytale's unfinished, and the team doesn't really have time to implement everything they want to fucking implement. One of the things they try to show off as like a thing of like, look at what our team did, is they made a cyberpunk city. That is not something the team should have done. That's something the community should have done. That was a door for the community. It's kind of upsetting that was taken in that way. I don't know if that sentiment really gets across, or if they really understand that sentiment, or if this like even a common sentiment to begin with. But I want to point that out, that like this, I think I got this right, that they are taking a lot of the fucking ideas away, and they're closing doors because they're doing that. They're taking the community members, they're making everything super advanced, and they're shutting a lot of doors that should have stayed open. And that makes it more difficult to become a competitive modding platform compared to Minecraft. The engineer will let you set up zip lines so you and your friends can traverse the world easier. They can set up climbable surfaces, turrets, and they will have some type of spring that they can put down on specific blocks. And that spring will stay there, and it can be destroyed by other players or enemies, who knows. There's a variety of ways to take it. But I saw the jetpack, and I realized, what? You guys have a fucking jetpack? What don't you have? That's what... They don't have a jetpack, I don't think. I looked in the creative menu. I think that was cut. But they were definitely playing around with one. And that kind of speaks to my worry. I'm glad they stepped back from the brink, and I hope they never implement it. I hope they never fucking add it. And if they do, I hope it's exclusive to their fucking story mode. I want there to be more room for novices to get their foot in the door. We need more room, not less. And that's fine. Hytale is the logical conclusion of a lot of things. But because it's concluded, all right, what do I make with this? What I'm trying to get at here is that Hytale is not a blank canvas. You can't really create on Hytale. I think that point is actually best articulated with the villages in Minecraft, right? When asked about why Jev won't improve the villages in Minecraft, these shitty little dog shit shacks in the middle of the fields, when asked why he wouldn't like add a little planting box and a little window and a little shutter over here on this window, and why he wouldn't add a chimney, like when people asked why won't you like improve the villages, Jeb said, because it's the player's job to fucking build. It's the player's job to improve it. The player has agency. The world is a blank canvas for the player to play on. Hytale villages, for the villages I've seen anyway, are beautiful already. They're already aesthetically stunning. And maybe that's fine. Maybe that's fine for the extrinsic players. Like, you tell me, have you ever improved a village? I think I've done it once, and then I never did it again because it's a huge resource sink. I don't really get much from it. It's way easier to kidnap the villagers and create a slave hall. There's no incentive for me to improve a village, and so I don't. But they're blank, so you can improve them. Villages now have just become a place for you to run, get wheat, steal their chests, and maybe them. Kill the iron golem, and then leave. They're not somewhere you stick around. They're not somewhere you improve. They're not somewhere you draw upon. And so, but the fact that the potential exists, the fact that they leave that door open intentionally for you, I think is worth talking about and is worth studying. There's a lesson that was left on the table here, I feel. Like this is a really good lesson. You have to give the player room. I've said this multiple times now. You have to have room for the fucking player. You have to have room for the developer. You have to have room for the people who do not know what the fuck they're doing. Like we can't cut everything off at the ankles here. I'm very worried about that. I'm very concerned about that. Anything that's not like explicitly designed to be created. I was looking at the art style, and I asked I have a few artist friends I talk to, right? As opposed to the artist friends I don't talk to, which is more common than anything. I was asking them, hey, do you think you'd be able to replicate Hytale's art style? They said, fuck no. I'm like, really? Why? That's too detailed. This is correct. And they're still like that. They attempted it. Blockbench came out with Hytale tools recently. So this is the Hytale player. They came out with tools to like create mobs and players and items and all this stuff. But in the end, the issue is that whenever you're trying to make something in Hytale, you're always fighting against this fact that everything you do, you have to use a soft brush. You have to increase the size. You have to create a soft brush. You have to have all these soft pixels on the side. You have to know how to highlight. You have to know how to have your values. You have to know where to put your pits and where to not. And you have to be like super fucking careful about it all. And if you're not already trained in the style, if you don't already know what the fuck you're doing, this can be very concerning. This can be very difficult to do. So no, they're still not able to do Hytale. I'm not able to fucking do Hytale completely. I can get by, but like it took me a long time, man. It took me a long time to get to the point where my art is able to do what the fuck my art does. And painted textures are like pretty fucking advanced. You have to understand light and shadow. You have to understand values, where's light coming from. There's a very limited amount of people in the 3D space already, and there's an even more limited amount of people who know painted textures like World of Warcraft or League of Legends painted textures. It's just more shit about that fucking that barrier, that door to get in. Like I can't I don't know what the fucking color palette is. I don't know like what brushes I should use in order to blend the colors. I don't know where all their highlights are. Like there is no color palette. I think that's the first thing I learned, is that there is no color palette, because whenever you're doing brush fall off, whenever you have a soft brush, any color fucking goes. There's no limit. It can be as noisy as you want it to be, for better and for worse. Like if I wanted to like, I remember seeing this texture pack a while ago. Let me see if I can pull this up. Can you imagine if Hytale looked like this? If it didn't use like the soft brushes, if everything was a hard brush, if there were only like 3 or 4 shades for each color. Like look at this, dude. Like imagine if Hytale actually did this. I think a lot of people agree. Like this is like, oh man. I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on Hytale's artists, right? Because they have an art style. It's just that like, I don't know if it's just a me thing, or if it's just like a Minecraft people. If you come from Minecraft, obviously, like you feel a certain type of way. This is just more aesthetically pleasing. Mixels and like soft shading and like all that crazy shit. It's not fantastic. They're still doing the mixels here. Like these blocks are 6:4, I think. Or are they? I can't tell. It doesn't look like the same pixel size as like the money over here. It looks like double the fucking pixel size. But I think there's something to be said about the art style they chose and what works and what doesn't work exactly. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like this would have had a lot more people in the door. It would be a lot easier to like screw up on. I'm sorry, it'd be a lot easier to like get right unintentionally. It'd be a lot better to like encourage yourself and say, all right, I don't have the skills now, but like I'm really close. I'm not that far off from the target. There's only so many fucking colors. There's only so many pixels. But look at this, man. I don't know. I would basically need a Hytale style guide, and even then I would need like a lot of guidance and a lot of practice in order to get that right. When I think about Minecraft, one of the earliest mods that ever came out, I never demonstrated what Industrial Craft actually looked like. Industrial Craft was a very funny mod. It was so fucking ugly. It was sinfully ugly, bro. Look at that. They basically got a fucking gradient and dragged up. Oh my god. But it's cute, you know? It's cute because like in a way, its ugliness matches the rest of the fucking game. You see? Some guy he's nothing but a programmer. Not a single artist bone in his body was able to make this just off the spirit alone. And that's worth something. That's worth saying something. But if you try to get the same guy and you say, hey bro, I need you to make a mod for Hytale, he's like, oh no, I can't do that. I know a lot of people already that are like this, that they're scared to make dog shit. Some girl came into the fucking Hytale Discord the other day, one of the Hytale modding Discords the other day, with a hedgehog. She was like, look at my hedgehog. Do you think this will fit in Hytale? And in the nicest way possible. The nicest way that they possibly fucking could. This person's like, not quite. The hedgehog was a trapezoid. It wasn't a fit. The hedgehog was a trapezoid. Yeah, it wasn't even like a trapezoid. It was like first of all, there's no nose, so it's just flat. It's just flat. From the side, from the front, I mean, the hedgehog's body, and those are the eyes, and that's the nose. It's tough, bro. It's tough out here. Okay, it's tough. Oh my god, it's rough. Well, once again, I'm not slandering this artist because the style is rough. The style is tough, dude. I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody. This is a fucked style. I don't know why they chose this. It's so difficult to do. It just did. It looks absolutely fucking horrendous. And yet that mod inspired an entire fucking genre. That and Buildcraft, I guess. Both mods look terrible. Both mods look absolutely fucking horrendous. But they inspired so much. And despite not having good art, they were allowed to basically exist as is. And I don't know. I feel like we're not going to get Industrial Craft for Hytale because, like, it's too difficult. It's too difficult to match that. How do you make something that would fit into the mods? To be clear, I do think we will get Industrial Craft for Hytale. Even if it doesn't really fit, I think we'll get it because it existed in Minecraft. This is something I didn't consider earlier. Everyone who's playing Hytale has probably played Minecraft. There's a lot of people who are calling for XYZ mod to be ported over. There's very seldom that want to create brand new experiences or brand new things. People were talking about the zombie apocalypse on the Ceasecraft mod pack, and they said they want that in Hytale. Instead of saying, hey guys, I think we should do like a magic apocalypse with Gaia and all the various fake creatures of Hytale, they're like, no, I want zombies. I want zombie apocalypse. The imagination is lacking. And so we will get Industrial Craft 2 in one way or another. We will get a machine mod. We will get pipes. We will get conveyor belts. But not because Hytale needs it. But we'll get it because it existed elsewhere. And that's sad, but also kind of inevitable. Like, what are you going to do? Tell them not to? I don't know. I feel like there's something explicitly wrong with it, and I'm not exactly sure how or what should be done about it. They're spending all this time making these modding tools and modding features, like, you know, they're basically remaking Blockbench, and it's like, why? That was very funny. I don't know if you remember this, but in 2019, Hytale was trying to make a model creator, literally Blockbench, and it was very, very funny. It's I can't. It is literally Blockbench. Blockbench existed in 2019. They just chose not to fucking use it. They want to do everything in-house. And they spent so much fucking time and probably so much money on this stupid little fucking tool, and lots of other tools like it. They spent so much on it, and then they just scrapped it for Blockbench anyways. I don't know why. I don't know what the point of this was. I don't know what the point of this was at all. Like, once again, Blockbench existed. I was using Blockbench. I know. I was using Blockbench. Like, mind you, it was a very early version of Blockbench, so maybe that's why they chose not to fucking use it. Yeah, it was around here, the chat update, like when they added multiplayer to Blockbench, like, oh my god. Was it around this time? Probably. Anyways, Blockbench has gotten a lot better since then, of course. It's always going to get better. I love Blockbench. Janice, please add vertex colors, you motherfucker. Add the vertex colors, man. Please, I'm begging you, man. Why do I have to suffer? Everyone else gets to have fun. I'm Squidward looking out the fucking window. Add vertex colors, bro. Please, I'm begging you. I'm going to die. Okay. Why are you guys doing that? And then I saw some shit about their fucking marketplace. I'm like, oh god, we're replicating Bedrock. Why do we have a market? I wonder where the marketplace went. I've heard murmurs about it, but I haven't seen shit about the marketplace. I'm sure it exists. I'm not sure if I got this wrong. Maybe I ate shit here. But the marketplace doesn't exist right now. I assume that's because we're in early access. I don't think it's because they don't have a marketplace planned. Obviously they do. They wouldn't implement the hair system and the cosmetic system in the way they have if they didn't have a market system. Obviously they have a market system. They want to sell cosmetics. That is the plan. But they haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet. But they will do it. I'm not going to fucking use it. I'm still not going to use it. We have a marketplace. What are we doing? What are we up to here? Like, the more I hear about Hytale, I kind of wish I didn't catch up with it. I kind of wish I didn't know anything. Not because I want to be surprised, but because, like, ignorance is bliss, bro. Look at this motherfucker running from me. Can I get him? There you go. I feel so worried. Accessibility is such a big deal when it comes to modding. And tools... Wow, I called it. Accessibility is such a big deal when it comes to modding, yeah. Are usually not the issue. Think about Bethesda games. I do not want to lose more speed. I'll take the lifesteal. Lost though. Bethesda came out with the creation kit. It was a pain in the ass to use. I don't care what anybody says. I hate using the creation kit. Fuck the creation kit. The creation kit sucks. Yeah, fuck the creation kit. I assume it's going to be better, but knowing Bethesda, who knows? Creation kit allows you to use... The Creation Kit 2 did come out. It is better, but it's slow as shit. I can't even run it on my computer, so I can't really, I can't talk about it too much. All of the assets that the game has to make whatever the fuck you want, right? But when you look at the editor, or what footage has been shown of it for Hytale, it's, like I said, it's literally Blockbench. They're recreating Block. We do have a Creation Kit type thing. Like, making add-ons is super easy. This is the Creation Kit. This is Hytale's Creation Kit. It is fantastic. This is really good. So I was wrong about this. Hytale did nail this. They got it right. They did think about this. It's good. It's good. That's all I have to say about it. It's good. Reading Blockbench. And it's like, okay, what is the point of you having your own editing animation suite? Who does this help? Who does this serve? What exactly is the workflow you're expecting of us? Usually you create these tools because you have a very particular way of conveying data to your game, right? Well, that's my fault. with a walled garden comes regulation and control and all these terrible fucking things. Like, nobody liked it when Bethesda wanted to do their fucking paid mods. No one liked it when fucking Minecraft Bedrock started doing their paid mods. Well, except for the Bedrock players. Sorry, Bedrock players. To be clear, if Hytale does do paid mods, I don't think they'll be able to get away with that. I'm pretty sure the entire community would either rebel or they would decentralize. I don't think they're able to do that. I'm pretty sure the creators have said that they're not doing paid mods. They probably understand it would be social suicide as well. But yeah. What the fuck made Hytale think, oh yeah, dude, we should create a walled garden, we should create an ecosystem? This is... Yeah, I don't think they're doing this. The ecosystem exists for cosmetics. The ecosystem exists to get you to pay for more advanced cosmetics that you can't use a mod to bypass. Until we get a Figura or some type of mod that every server is probably going to use one way or another to bypass that entire cosmetic system. This is just a money-making tool. I don't hate them for it, once again, because like Minecraft's able to succeed because Microsoft is making a shit ton of money. As soon as they added the microtransactions on, it was like putting fucking turbo on a horse. I don't blame Hytale for doing this at all. I'm just not going to engage with that. Does this really make it easier for anybody? I don't know. I certainly don't fucking think it's easier. If I make a mod for Hytale, I don't want to put it in a fucking marketplace that's controlled by Hytale. That's kind of the distribution question, right? We brought up CurseForge. I didn't actually expand on this. Let me talk about that now. Here's the issue with talking about CurseForge and like the various controversies involved with it. The people who were directly affected by CurseForge, which is like Sodium in them, don't come out with any fucking receipts. So I can't prove anything is actually wrong. However, I do know that CurseForge is now owned by Overwolf. And Overwolf is a predatory company that collects way too much fucking data. They're not trustworthy at all. And they are doing a monopoly-like strategy to own everything. You know in shitification, all right? And shitification is real. CurseForge's sin, as far as I know, is that they're not giving creators what they're fucking owed. And sometimes they pay out in gift cards. This is really, like, they're just unhealthy in a lot of different ways. And they're a monolith. It's kind of like Nexus, right? They exist because where are you going to go? Are you going to go to ModDB? Are we going to fragment further? For CurseForge, the answer is Modrinth. Modrinth incentivizes people to come over because they give you the full cut of what your mod earns in ads. They still make money, of course. Sure, they see cut somewhere, probably from the transaction phase. But Modrinth is so much more friendly to CurseForge when it comes to the creators. Are they in the hole for it? I don't know. But CurseForge is here to make money, and Overwolf is a money-making machine. These guys love making money. So Overwolf is like the real evil. CurseForge was bought out, and so it's kind of like Wikia. No, not Wikia. No, it's like fandom. Yeah, there we go. All right, if you know fandom, if you know the cancerous things of fandom, CurseForge is fandom. All right, that's the best I can do for you. Once again, Sodium never coughed up the fucking receipts, but talks like this have been going on modding channel backrooms for years now. This has been happening since 2019. Maybe 2019 is too far back. It's been going on for a long fucking time. All right, like half a decade at least. People are always complaining about CurseForge. I've seen these people myself. I once again, it'd be shitty of me to talk about them. I don't know what's up with these people and like not wanting to get fucking receipts. If I could give the receipts, I would, but I'm not allowed to. For the people that I know, Sodium haven't said shit, so I don't know about Sodium. What if they take my mod down? What if they do something sketchy and add like advertisements and shit when I don't want advertisements attached to my mod? I understand this fear because CurseForge, and considering the Hytale's partnered directly with CurseForge and not somewhere else, or try to create their own solution, that is a problem. I'm still kind of worried about this, but I kind of assume it's going to sort itself out. Like my mod's not going on CurseForge. My mod's going on to I'm probably going to put my mod here into Modtail. By the way, guys, Modtail developers, if you're watching this, use it not pop up in Google search results when I type in Hytale mods. All right, you guys need to focus on your SEO just a little bit, because that was inexcusable. Also, it's weird that there are duplicates for each update. I don't think this is okay. Kind of blows the site a little bit. But this is probably where I'm going to put my mod when I'm done with that. The systems that are at play do not play like that. Speaking of systems, let's do a fucking game design exercise. You want to know the most irritating thing in any fucking Minecraft mod pack? Is when the fucking solution that these mod pack creators think of is, oh, if I want to create a more interesting game loop, I should just add more tiers of armor and weapons. All right, this is slander coming up here. I'm sorry. All right, I was very upset. But you have to understand, for a long time traditionally in Minecraft mod packs, mod creators have been lazy, okay? They start you off with flint, and then they make you work your ass off to make a copper, but then they let you jump to iron, and they ignore bronze, tin. Also, did you notice there's no fucking stone? Yeah, there's no fucking stone anywhere. It's very inconsistent, and then they'll do like the side grade thing where they're like on the same tier of weapons and armor and tools, there's a ruby, and if you have ruby, you know you have to have sapphire, right? If you have sapphire, you know you have to have emerald. And if you're feeling spicy, if you're feeling kind of Brazilian today, maybe you have some topaz. I don't know why I said Brazil. Brazil mentioned. It's very fucked, and it's very lazy. Hytale kind of fell into the same thing, but they say they're going to make the armors different soon. They have plans to rework the armor so that like each armor has a purpose. It's not just a direct upgrade. Because right now, there's no reason to use the blue or green armor after you have the red armor. There's just no reason at all. I can't tell you how fucking boring it is to go from copper to iron to fucking ruby, sapphire, fucking emerald. Like,
Yeah.
they're all the same thing, and yet for some reason these pack creators they struggle with the basic concept of non-linear progression. They struggle with the fact that it's like they forget. Hey, did you know that players can like mine down after they get iron tools and get diamonds? Yeah, that's right. So that's kind of the issue in Hytale as well. Hytale has a zone system, right? Hytale's trying to be cute, and they have this thing where like they named these places Zone 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? They gave them names recently, but originally they were Zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is nonsensical. There's no reason for them to be numbers at all. And the tier of items that you get, it's not locks in any way. Like, I accidentally skipped desert. I didn't even have a desert near me. Instead, I just ended up in the, I forgot where I ended up. I ended up with blue armor. Oh yeah, I ended up in, like, Iceland. I ended up in Ice Place. I got blue armor, like, immediately. And I stuck with that blue armor for a long time, because I didn't want to go to the fireplace, because I was like, I'm going through the game too fast. People are like, oh yeah, there's a lot of content. There's not a lot of content at all. Right? It took me, like, half a fucking play session to get to blue armor. I think total I only have like 24 hours, and I'm really stretching it out. Right? I'm really trying my best. Right, so all these tiers before diamonds, they're gone. Oh wait, if a player opens up a fucking chest, guess what happens to all these items? That's right, they're completely ignored. Your wood armor? Yeah, what would you put wood armor into the pack for? Funny thing about loot is that you're not going to get better than iron in Hytale by going looting. The stuff that comes in chests just isn't good, like at all. It's not worth looting at all. And that kind of like goes into my thing of it not being an RPG pack. Like it's valuable in the first like 2 days, but after that, you rapidly find out it's faster and better if you go mining. Not strip mining. You have to go caving. You want to get your ore that way. Players can't even be fucked to get leather armor, let alone wood armor. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you gone out of your way to craft leather armor? Well, Hytale has the exact same fucking issue. And it's like, there's no way. I was looking at their material list, because I was like, when I was experimenting. And like, hold on. There's leather, wood, leaf, bone, stone, copper, iron, silver, gold, steel, cobalt, thorium, and then some unlisted unique shit. Okay, that stuff's not in the game right now. Luckily, alright? If they actually did do that, that would have been super disgusting. That would have been so horrific. That would have been terrible. I'm glad they didn't. We still have the same problem though. It's just that there's less tiers in between, and less like less side tiers. There's less horizontal progression. But we still have the same problem. God damn, that's horrific. Look at all these fucking tiers of weapons, and it's like here's the issue with sandbox games in progression. In a sandbox game, you need everything to be recursive, right? As soon as you're done with the copper armor, what do you have? What use is copper? We have the exact. Even Minecraft doesn't have the fucking fix for that. Same situation in Minecraft right now. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice work, Luther. All this copper in the world, nowhere to use it in vanilla. So why is it here? Well, now we have copper armor, copper tools, but nobody fucking uses them, bro. Like, just go for the iron. Like, it's completely like, it doesn't do anything special. Oh yeah, bro, you need a lightning rod for what? I watched this guy named Simply Sark. I love this guy's videos, right? One of my favorite creators. And Simply Sark starts talking about how to use like copper armor. Like how he imagines it implemented into Minecraft. It's some of the most interesting game design I've ever fucking seen. He imagines copper as a conduit for lightning, and you can charge up the armor. And while it's not as strong as diamond, it can be charged up to a point where it's just as strong, if not a little bit stronger. And it has utility to it. And like there's risk to it, because if you step in water while the armor is charged, you'll get electrocuted and you might possibly die. So it's super dangerous, risk and reward to it. And it's like, this is super interesting. These like tangible gameplay reasons to use this armor. And there's nothing like that in Hytale at all. Nothing. Not with the weapons, not with the armor. There's nothing. There's nothing like that. Everything is a passive. Everything is about boosting your signature by 6 points. It's some of the most boring armor and weapons that we can possibly fucking find. The variety comes from the weapon type And even then, most people run daggers. That's just the most fun weapon. It's the most versatile. It has the most options. Most people run daggers when they can. I'm not talking about PvP. Once again, that's a multiplayer thing. They have a lot of focus on multiplayer. They really like being balanced for multiplayer and PvP. Most people probably don't play PvP, I imagine. And so PvE, you're probably gonna use the fucking daggers, okay? Daggers have a utility for everything. They get you distance, they get you up close, they let you attack fast, they give you movement potential. Like there's nothing like Simply Sark's electric armor in Hytale, and there's nothing even close. There's no indication that they're even making anything like that, and that's sad. But mods can take over for that, I guess. But it's just like another nail into that. This is not an RPG pack, bro. This is not an RPG. They're not thinking that way. Armor, and I'm not talking just normal like, oh yes, increases your base damage by 20%. No, I'm talking like actual. That's exactly what the armor is. There's systems attached to this armor. That's super cool. And Hytale isn't doing that. Now, naturally, yes, you can fix that with mods. That's definitely a mod I would make. Oh, look at that. Call it weapon diversity or armor diversity or something. I don't know. But the point is that they're not doing this. It feels like Hytale is entering the situation where the things that it has on offer are things that I would necessarily have to unwind. I would have to undo everything that they did. Yeah. Imagine Baldur's Gate 3. And that's kind of the pain, is that when the core systems of a game are working against you in the way that Hytale seems to be working against people who want to make this an RPG, like you really have to undo a lot of that work. You have to undo a lot of what the team is doing. You have to basically make a fucking fork of the game. You have to make a branch of the game. And obviously, most people don't want to do that. So they're going to roll with the punches. Minecraft's the same way. The reason we're in vanilla plus hell right now is because most people do not want to overwrite everything Mojang has done. What are you going to do with the creaking biome? What are you going to do with it? Well, you can't use it for most content, but you have to work around it. And so you're just going to make a mod that kind of like sort of caters to the creaking. How about a boss that comes out of that biome, maybe? How about an extra use for Amber? I don't know. This is very important. This is another thing that's about this gate here, that the game has to work with the players. It has to work with the developers. Its ideas have to be necessarily in line, because if they're not, we're making a fork, and not everybody wants to make better than Adventure. Not everybody wants to make better than Wolves. That's really painful. Imagine having to deconstruct the entire game and rebuild it as a total conversion in order to make it like viable as a platform for creation. Yeah. Imagine how stupid that is. It's very stupid, no? But that's basically what Hytale is. Hytale is so well established. It has lore. It has fucking weapons and armor and shit. It has its own fucking progression loop. It has a fucking story mode. It has a story. And I'm like, it's not necessarily that bad. I think I'm being a bit hyperbolic here. Once again, Hytale is in a lot more. It's in good hands now. It's in way better hands now. Simon's hands are good hands. He's not going to make all those mistakes. There's reason to be worried, but that's just because of the history of the game, right? Like a lot of these things are now up in the air. A lot of these things are being changed, so it's a lot. We're going in a good direction. This is very doomer. I was wrong about this. Okay, it's okay. We're fine. I'm like, why? A platform for creation, my ass. What am I creating? You created everything. What's left to create here? There's no room. There's no room for Hytale to be what the fuck Hytale is. No room. It's not a good competitor to Minecraft because it's too advanced. It has too much content. Its art style is too fucking detailed. It's too much. It's too much to be fucking rival for Minecraft. Mario and Sonic are rival. And I think that's a good question. Is this a rival for Minecraft? Well, I'll let myself finish. Because they're considered equals in some way, right? Don't let the fanboys hear that. But you wouldn't consider fucking, I don't know. You wouldn't consider Ubisoft and Google rivals, would you? Like, okay, sure, they're both technically tech, I guess. But do you know how big the scale difference is? I think I see what I'm saying there. I think that analogy is pretty poor. But ultimately, what I'm sure I was getting at is that the philosophies are so radically different between what I saw in Hytale at the moment and what Minecraft already was, that I couldn't see any way to connect those lines. And even now, I am struggling. I am concerned. This is Rust. There's no lines to connect between Rust and Minecraft, unfortunately. 7 Days to Die has blocks. This is voxels. Did it not? But is that good? Not really. Is that comparable to Minecraft Terraria? No, not really. The fact that I can't even wear a fucking ring in Hytale as like an equipment slot. Like, what was the philosophy here? What were we thinking? Where are the baubles? Where are the trinkets? How is this? Where's the RPG part? Is this an RPG? I don't think so. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're trying to do. What is this fucking game? I don't know. They're missing some foundational stuff here that I would expect like to be like super simple, like super easy. Like trinkets are like a one-day thing, right? Especially if you're using ECS. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't know. Well, that's Hytale in Minecraft. Like the closest competitor Minecraft probably has is Vintage Story, and Vintage Story is kind of the same situation where it's like this is the logical conclusion of survival mod packs, right? Yeah, Vintage Story absolutely is the logical These guys are fucking unhinged. But the combat is so dog shit, bro. Please fix the combat for Vintage Story. And Janice, please give me fucking Vertex colors, bro. Oh my god. We get your temperature mods, you get your fucking thirst and hunger mods, you put all that in. This is what it looks like at the end of the day. And it's like, okay, was this necessary? Well, it was necessary. They wanted to make their own thing. That's cool. I'm cool with that. Vintage Story isn't advertising itself as a... The reason why I always give Vintage Story a pass is because it doesn't advertise itself as, like, being super creative. It has the chisel and bits thing. But, like, ultimately, the vision and goal behind Vintage Story has always been, we are trying to make hardcore survival. We are trying to bust your balls. And that's cool. I like that. I like that they're intentional. I like they're transparent about what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what Hytale is or what it's trying to do. I just don't. I don't know what they're after. I don't know what they're doing. I hear a lot of things about what they prioritize. I hear nothing about what they are. It's a creative platform. It doesn't advertise itself as a creative outlet at all. So I'm cool with Vintage Story being Vintage Story and taking its radical, weird direction with its gangly characters and its... The characters are very ugly. Bizarre, eldritch story. Like, all that shit is super cool to me. Hytale is not cool. Because it's not supposed to be this. It wasn't supposed to end up like this. It wasn't supposed to be this way. And yet, here it is. Very much like this. I feel like there are certain games. Like, I've seen people come into communities all the time saying, hey, I want to get into modding. How do I do it? And then, like, you give them a guide, and they fucking disappear forever, and they never come. Yeah, that's the accessibility thing I was talking about. Like, it was a problem back then. If you think it's not going to be a problem now, with the attention spans of Generation Z being as they fucking are. Like, bro, anybody who looks at fucking Hytale and says, oh no, you just gotta get good, bro. You just gotta learn, bro. You're not being realistic. None of these people are being realistic. I've seen how these people engage, how these people learn these days, how kids learn these days. Is tough. It's very fucking tough already, okay? And technology is always advancing, and it's always getting more advanced, and there's always more things to fucking learn. The ceiling, I'm sorry, the floor, the skill floor, is too high right now. It just is too high for fucking Hytale. It's too high. They never come back, right? It's already difficult enough to get people into the modding community to begin with. When you up the bar, not because the tools are too difficult to use, but because the tools can be as difficult as you fucking want. We have APIs. We have ways of I was about to say no, you can't have tools being complicated, but yeah, you're right, actually. If there's an API, just like I brought up the visual scripting here, if there's visual scripting, you get to bypass a lot of the struggle with plugins and ECS. You bypass a lot of that. So yeah, I guess okay, that's okay. Ways to circumvent that. What we don't have ways to circumvent is like shit already being done. It's so difficult to be like. Yeah, in the end, it still comes down to this like incentive thing of like, did you create everything that a novice would want to create already? Okay, what do you want to make? Well, I want to make weapons and armor. All right, what type of weapons do you want to make? I think I want to make a type of magic sword that shoots fire when you swing it. Oh no, that's already been done. Yeah, that's already been done. Yeah, that's already done. What? Yep, that's already in the game. Oh, okay. I'll make a car. Nope, that's already been done. What? Is there a car? I don't know if there's a car. But I feel the spirit. I feel. Yeah, it's one of the default mods. Yeah, they made fucking example mods. A fucking alien wave shooter. I can't believe they did that before. Oh yeah, they did that. They did that too. Yeah, fuck. The community did. They took the fun away. I don't know, man. I'm kind of shook. I'm kind of worried. Not gonna lie. I'm not at all worried that the game's never coming out. I believe it's coming. There was a reason you should have been worried. This is an L for you, Luther. All right, because not too long after this video, Hytale was fucking canceled by Riot. All right, the team was laid off, and it took a miracle for Simon to pull the fucking team back together. It took a miracle. You should have been worried. I believe it's coming out. I believe that. I understand what engine rewrite takes. I understand how difficult that is. And the engine rewrite is what killed them. You should have been more skeptical. Just because it's made by Riot doesn't mean it's going to succeed. In fact, the bigger the company is that's making it, the more they have to lose every day that money's not being made, okay? I should have been more skeptical. Yeah. I don't wish it on my worst enemy, okay? Refactoring sucks. Yeah, refactoring sucks ass. I don't recommend it. And that's why ECS is like, you have ECS now. We're not going anywhere, right? This is not disappearing. It would be completely. It's not practical. But the bones of the game, right? The fucking like the DNA of this thing. That's Warrior. That's very Warrior. A lot of luck. Yeah. Damagers. Yeah, I'll take dodge. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's possible that I'm just completely fucking missing a direction here. I don't think. Like, how much did I get right so far? I think I got more than half right. The things I got wrong are kind of tangentially related, it seems like, but like, well, the things that I got right, I kind of like, I still hold the same viewpoints. I was right to be skeptical. Right, but I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's a dead end. There's this game, Divinity Original Sin 2, where it came out fully complete. It's a fully complete RPG, and it has a modding scene. They made modding tools for it and everything. Super cool modding tools, super advanced. Pretty much the entire fucking everything they made the game with. It's all right here. You have. I don't know if it's full like I don't know if it's full SGK, but it's pretty much every tool you would possibly need to remake the game, just with their tools. Like, Baldur's Gate does the same thing. Metro, what's the newest Metro game? The one that like went open world. That game does it. Dying Light does that. They give you the full SGK. You can remake the entire fucking game, but most people don't. Because it's a lot of work. You have the ability to do everything right here.
These are really advanced modding tools. And you know what 90% of the fucking mods are for this game?
Classes.
Classes. Everyone's just making classes and weapons and accessories and shit. Nobody's really like overhauling the campaign. Nobody's really making like new characters, new stories.
Yeah, that's worrying. It's too difficult. It's too complicated. However, Baldur's Gate 3 is a lot more accessible, and I see an expansion coming out, which is really fucking cool. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see the modding tools for Baldur's Gate are good enough so people are like comfortable with being like, yo, I'm just going to fucking expand the story right now.
Stories.
That's so sick.
It's really just, I don't want to call it boring, but
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to gush about Baldur's Gate. Fucking Hytale, dude. I'm just super excited.
It's stagnant, and you can tell, right? It's very obvious that it's stagnant. That's the situation it's in. And Hytale is going to be like that, I feel. Hytale is going to be a situation where the most advanced thing that users can make without getting a fucking commission from an artist who knows exactly how to replicate that style is going to be like, tweaking existing systems and like making minigames, which is cool. I like minigames so much as the next guy. But it's limited. I fucked up.
It is limited. Also, yeah, you fucked up. I don't know why you were that close to the fucking boss to begin with. You had no HP. You could have gone to heal. You could have had more fucking patience, but you were greedy. You were a greedy little bitch. That's why you died. That's why you lost. Yeah. I was okay. I was kind of alright. But ultimately, what I've come away with this Hytale follow-up is that we're in a weird identity crisis with this game, and nobody really has an answer for me whenever the fuck I ask. So what is Hytale exactly? Like, where was it trying to be exactly? Nobody has a fucking answer. Nobody can tell me, and I'm very, very, very concerned about the pipeline to get people in the door. I want more modders, more talent, more people being like trained and like curated by the community, not by the fucking team, and being stuck in this hellish loop of bureaucracy working on World Gen V2. I want the community to be spinning up, but they can't do that every time a fucking contest comes out and like they get fucking pilfered by the Hytale team. Who's coming back? We need better pipelines. This is very worrying for me. This is very, very, very worrying. With how advanced this game is to mod, I'm worried. I'm beyond worried. I'm sure it'll get better, but it's not getting better right now. Might not get better for like a few years. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with waiting, but like, fuck, that's upsetting. Yeah, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? I think that ultimately what this comes down to is Hytale. It is a good game. I kind of like it, but I have found myself going like back and forth between it and modded Minecraft, because modded Minecraft gives me the RPG mod pack thing that I was looking for in the first place. I haven't gone back to Terraria yet, but I will soon. Somebody's making a Terraria mod pack that looks really fucking cool. They finally have like custom configs and stuff. It's the first of its kind of here. I'm very interested in that. But yeah, I think that's all. I think I got my point across. I have hope. Okay, I'm not a doomer. I have hope. I do think it will get better, but it's going to take some time. As all things do.